Hi, it's Elaine from Penguin Place Crafts. I was trying to get my hair out of my eyes, and apparently I flashed my arm in front of the record button, and it started before I was ready. Yes, it's Elaine from Penguin Place Crafts, and thank you for coming to my channel today. It's Saturday. I finished 2 projects since yesterday. I mentioned that I was starting a new challenge where I took this bag of yarn from a thrift store, weighed 1 pound 8 ounces. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make stuff for my restock and purchase that made lists and make stuff from this bag. The first thing I thought of was using the hot pink fun fur to make a patchwork dog with fluffy pink ears. But I was like, oh, this could be a little tough getting the hot pink ears. Like, what color should I make the body? What color should I make this? What color should I make that? Well, I put the message up to my daughters, and then I Googled, like, crocheted dog with hot pink, or stuffed dog with hot pink ears, and one thing that came up was a dog that was variegated. So the whole body and the legs and everything were a variegated yarn that had some hot pink in it. It was a simple variegated, like white, blue, and pink. And then the ears were the fluffy pink. Oh, 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 I can do that. So I pulled a skein of variegated from here. I'll have to put a picture in of it's. I used up like half of it, so I have it caked up now. But there was some hot pink in there. But I didn't want the dachshund to be that crazy because it was a fairly short color change with a lot of different colors in it, even a little bit of black. So I thought if I grabbed some white just chenille, because when I was reorganizing in here, I found a few more skeins. I thought I was all gone. I found a few more. If I combine those two, that will tone down the variegated yarn, and then it should look good with the pink ears. Well, using one strand of worsted weight yarn and one strand of just chenille, I had to use a 6.5 K hook, which means my item is going to be a lot bigger. I should have made my mini dachshund, because those are usually only about this big. So if I made it with the bigger yarn, it'd be about this big. No, 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 no. I went ahead and I made the full-size Socksy Dachsie pattern. There she is. Can you? Maybe if I put this up in front of my face, it'll zoom in on the colors. There is some hot pink in there and some black. Yeah, there's a little bit of black there, a little bit of black here. So she's all done. And making those foofy ears, I held it together with a strand of sport weight white, just so that I'd be able to see my stitches. And it sort of shows with the edges, but there's Pinky. And my husband said, how much would you charge for that? I'm like, probably like $30. And he goes, I thought you said stuff that's like $30 doesn't sell at your shows. Like, yeah, yeah. Yep, I should have made the small one. So then I pulled another yarn from the bag and I made something a little smaller that will go for a much more reasonable price. This pattern is Mirage the Sky Serpent, It's a free pattern that I found on Etsy when I was doing the Share the Love challenge. So there is Mirage. And yes, that's made with that sparkly yarn. So he's got sort of a tilt to his head. I don't think I've sewed the head on quite straight, but that's just what he is. He's interested in something off to the, that's left. No, right. No, he's looking to the right. Okay. His head tends to twist around a little bit, but there he is. Mirage, the Sky Serpent. I think I sold the one at the last show for $18. And since he is so sparkly, and red, white, and blue, which are also the Buffalo Bills color, I think I'll definitely price him at $18. Although now I do not have a show. Oh no, the first I go down. No, it was the 20th that got canceled. Yeah, now I don't have a show till the 27th. I was supposed to have shows 2 weeks in a row, the 20th and the 27th, and I got a message today that the show on the 20th, the local show, has been canceled. So I only have one show in September now. I need to get going on my Etsy shop, get stuff into my Etsy shop. Okay. That's all I made. And that only used up from the 1 pound, 8 ounce bag of scrap yarn, a grand total of 2 ounces. It's going to take a while. Although now I am working on, there was a big ball of a gray, green, and white yarn. I'm not all that familiar with the different like Premier and loops and threads and all that. It's thinner than Bernat Blanket, but thicker than worsted weight. So it's probably some sort of slim, bulky yarn. So I've got that. It's a 7.5 ounce ball. And I have started a project with it that is going to be very cute. And I will have it to show you tomorrow because I'm probably 30% done with it while I was watching Lori's live today. So I have a story. Today it was on my agenda to clean out the garage and take all of the recycling to the recycling center, which happens to be like 6 miles away. I know exactly how far it is because it's right across the street from the house where I grew up. And the recycling, plastics, paper, cardboard, glass, metal, was just taking over the garage. So I wanted to get that cleaned out. They're only open over there on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And on Tuesdays, I already had some errands planned. So I finally got over there. Driving up the road and go past the old homestead. It's like, what are those doing out there? We had an oil furnace growing up. And we would have this company, they'd come and they'd pump oil into this huge tank that was probably 12 feet long and 5 feet tall. They just fill that up with oil and come around through the winter months every once in a while to fill it up. There's 2 of those tanks. I think one of them developed problems, so they put another one right next to the first one. Both of those tanks are out by the road. And I'm looking, and it looks like the driveway has like fresh dirt bulldozed down the driveway. And then I look, and there's just dirt where the house used to be. Now, the house has not been lived in for probably, let's see, I think my mom has been gone for 9 years, and she was in nursing home care for 5 years before that. So 14 years the house has not been lived in. And it was old to start with. When my parents bought it, I think it was close to 100 years old. And my brother is older. Well, they got married they bought it in 1958. And it was already probably close to 100 years old then. The attic of the house had been used as a chicken coop. They had to clean out all the chicken stuff. And over the years, it wasn't really all that well maintained. Especially since my mom died, there's been no maintenance on it. The roof was leaking, the roof was sagging, siding was blowing off the house. Even when she was still alive, there were like soft spots in the floor, like the floorboards or something under the floorboards was starting to rot. So the house was really in bad shape. When my mom passed, according to the will, my brother got the house and the land, because he farms the land. He keeps cows there, and he gets hay from the fields, and he's been working the farm all these years. My sisters and I got a monetary amount. You know, it wasn't completely even, but my brother deserved to get the land because he has put so much time into the farm. But the house was not habitable at that point. And he checked with the town about having the fire department do a controlled burn. And first he would have to have it analyzed for asbestos. And that testing would have cost thousands of dollars. But there was all sorts of stuff that he had to do in order to do the controlled burn. That just wasn't an option. And he's been, okay, yep, I've got to do this first, I've got to do that first. There's all these hoops that he had to jump through to demolish the house. And this week, it finally happened. I did not know until I drove by and the house was gone. I will insert the video here that I sent to my girls. There was a swing that my parents had built so that when my girls came over, they could play on a swing set. And it was just a big post put in the ground that had 4 branches going out to the side. And there was a swing hanging from one, a regular swing. There was a tire swing. There were 2 rings that you could hang from and do flips and all that. There's the old swing. But the house is gone. Yeah. One time, our youngest was trying to do a flip from those rings, and her hand slipped, and she did a face plant from probably about 4 feet up in the air. And glasses cut her nose, and she had a black eye. Fortunately, her sister, let's see, Bethany was about 11 at the time. Candace would have been 21. So her sister had maybe some medical training, and she goes, I think you can get away without stitches. And she put a butterfly bandage on to pull the edges together. She got it all cleaned up, and she did a good job. There's no scar. Okay, but that's still standing. So I got a picture for the girls of the old swing set, and then I panned around, and there's just level dirt where the house once stood. I knew that it was going to happen. it wasn't like I cried or anything like that. It's just weird that the house is not there anymore. So that was the whoa moment of the day. Came home and played with yarn. And oh, when I go to the dumps, one thing I like about taking the recycling in, I've said this before, I had a full bucket of glass from spaghetti sauce, jelly, soy sauce, all this. They have these big garage bays, cement bunkers, and you just toss the glass in there and they bulldoze it to the back, bulldoze it until there's enough to take it away for recycling. So if you want to, you could stand at the entrance and just whip the glass in there and break it. So I had my little smash room episode today. It's sort of fun. It's therapeutic. It's fun. Just yeah. So I played with smashing things and I played with yarn. And I'm very happy with the two things I made. What did I do with the dragon? Oh, there he is. I mean, I still have a lot of the sparkly blue yarn left. So I am not quite sure what's coming next. I do have a couple other dragon patterns that I could make like 3 different dragons probably with the sparkly yarn. And then put all 3 up on Instagram and say, which one wins? Which one do you like best? Maybe I'll do that once I'm done with the restock item that I'm making now that I know is going to be really cute. Although I took 2 or 3 of this pattern to Street Fest and didn't sell any of them. Strange. I really thought I'd sell some. And on the how's this going, how's that going front, the big Christmas craft show, what is it at now? Like 4 days since I emailed this person asking some questions, basic questions like, do you have a lot of crocheters at this show? What's your average attendance? How much is it? Still no answer. And getting the replacement yarn for my kit, I had another email waiting for me this morning saying, oh, you don't get a full yarn of the off-white for the muzzle. You only get a little hank of yarn, like the yarn that you got for embroidering. So check the box and see. You see any white yarn falling out of there? So my patience wore a bit thin this morning. And I said, I cannot believe the frustration and the hassle and the delay that you are putting me through for literally a few cents worth of yarn. I said, if I had something in my yarn stash that I could use, I wouldn't even bother with this. But I don't use a lot of cotton yarn, and I leaned towards worsted weight and heavier yarns, so I don't have a little thin little off-white cotton in my stash. And oh yes, we're sorry. But we have to forward your message to this department and we'll let you know. Other companies would be like, oh, there was something missing from your order. Here, we'll get that out to you right away. This company is like, prove it. Other companies would say, oh, our bad. We'll take care of it. this company is saying, nope, not our bad. Must be yours. Check and see what you did wrong. Over and over again. Yeah. As soon as I have my yarn, I'm canceling. Okay. I should have ended on a brighter note. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm playing with yarn. I think my Crojo's coming back. I'm having fun matching up the yarns from the scrap bag with patterns that I need to remake or new patterns, and it is challenging my creative juices. It's making the creative juices boil again. Bubble. Effervesce. Can you tell I've been working on puzzles? What was I going to say? One problem with that, though, is I keep looking at the bags of works in progress next to my chair. Like, I should work on those. When I was working on these projects, I was like, oh man, I need a stitch counter for this. Now, the row counter, the little clicky, the little red thing that you, every time you finish a row. Looked around my chair, couldn't find one. Looked on my craft cart, none there. Looked in 3 different boxes, couldn't find it. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I only have 6 of those. And I currently have 7 works in progress. They're all counting. They're all telling me what row I'm at. In these abandoned projects over here. So I think I need to work on one of my works in progress so I can get my little clicker counter back. Either that or go out shopping on Monday and buy myself another clicker. Actually, I have one of those little fidget toys where it's the little things that you punch. There's 16. 4 rows of 4. So I just pop all those out and it's like, okay, 1, 2, and I'm pushing one in for every row that I do. So I'm getting around it. I'm working around it. I also have some knitting row counters that are just the little dial thing that you would put on your knitting needles. I have a little string running through mine so that I could hang it from the knitting needle. But you gotta like twist the number around when you finish your row. I could use that too. But I probably should finish up one project. Just one project. Yeah. Progress is good. Progress makes you feel more accomplished. Yes. I'll keep telling myself that. So, okay. I will go make progress on dinner, and then I will make progress on the stuff I'm working on.